Tiwa Savage, My Darling. In the music video, she got married. She was married to a military man, an army man. And then, like, when the part in which those two soldiers came into the house and they have not even talked, baby girl has fainted. I mean, that part was very, very real because they don't even need to say anything. At every point in which your husband is going for something, you're literally, there's like a 50% chance of your husband coming back or more. That's not what I want for myself and for my kids. No. Even as much as the guy later came back in the music video, but that part showed, you could tell what this is what military wives are going through. Then there are some military men that are actually really toxic, but aside that was not the point of the conversation. So it centers around that um, aspect of dying because the work is, like I said, is the work of being, of either you kill or you are killed. They go out to the war front and not all of them come back alive. No matter how great and mighty a particular military team is still, there is still chances of people dying. They put their life on the line. So yeah, there are people that are going to do that work, and there are girls that are going to be willing to marry, and there are girls or men are going to be willing to marry military personnel, and then there are others that won't be able to marry them and are part of the others. Even pilots. I used to say I will not marry a pilot because there was a point in which plane crash was very, very just everywhere, but now it's not like that again. So I've reconsidered. Even now, I'm saying I want to be an air hostess because there's money there. So I get her point, and I understand the toxic part of what she was talking about because having a family, having kids, your husband goes out for a military duty, you'll be scared of what is going to happen next. And I mean, every day, our life is literally hanging on a thread. But then theirs is like they're already falling from that thread. They just remain small, they'll fall completely.
On the job deaths have been rising in recent years, um, year after year, with population obviously and more information being gathered. Now, some jobs are significantly more dangerous than others. Yeah, your job risk, for example, is different working as a clergyman compared to say working as a POS attendant or a banker in Nigeria. Now, even as crazy as these times are, there are jobs riskier than these. Working in the army, for example, is seen to be very risky because at any point in time you could be called to a very tricky task, a very tricky job where you are at the front lines of security. What about working, for example, in aviation, being a pilot? It's a very risky job as well. But you see, strangely enough, risky jobs are still being done, and for good reason. Someone has to do them. How do people taking on risky jobs survive? How do their partners deal with them in these positions? On this episode, taking on Judith's take, taking on Judith's take, because lovely take by Judith, our opinion on that conversation. I attempt to go through a couple of pointers with someone really amazing on the podcast, Salma, back again to do what she does amazingly. It is Salim Mohammed Tarfa, the Fizi on the Fizi Speaks. Let's get into this one. Okay, so this fantastic conversation I was having, reversed psychology and all this stuff about what it's like to date someone, or should you give up? Should a man give up his ambition or his job or something? Like this idea that if someone wants to be with you, if a man wants to be with you, then he would give up anything to do so. He'll give you anything you want because he wants to be with you. And then this lady is about how her husband, who she married now, at the time wanted to be with her, and she said she couldn't be with someone who is in the armed forces, in the army, and then the man just quit the army and meant to marry her. And then this woman is talking about how that's the benchmark for what you should expect for any man who wants to marry you, because if he likes you enough, then he should be able to give up anything, right? So for this particular thing, I said, okay, I can talk about this all day as a man and say, okay, yeah, sure, we'll do sacrificial stuff for you, but I felt like, okay, I needed a different opinion. and I got a very interesting opinion. Right now, I'm going to keep quiet and let Salma, Alicia, so delicious, answer. Just say what she wants to say. Salma.
Okay. I think for me, one thing that people are not really looking at is the fact that this man he also has a life, and when you say like the person should drop everything that they're supposed to do and come and be with you, I feel like that's a bit selfish, to be honest. Because okay, let me use the military man and his wife for example. Let's look at it like this. A lot of women will say leave your husband and leave the military job because it's dangerous, you could die, you go out to war, they could kill you, stuff like that. But to be fair, you can die at any job.
Exactly.
Any single job. You can be a POS attendant that it looks like
And the risk of you dying is actually high.
Is even
Especially
very,
because where you are staying is really, really like people want the money you have.
they will
So-
shoot you and collect your money.
Yeah, I've actually seen some cases where people have been robbed at gunpoint, and for the POS thing, someone's house was broken into because of POS
Yes.
stuff. I know a lady in a particular estate. She was tailed by some people. I don't know her personally, but like the story got to me, and I was like, okay. Because if you're in the barber shop, there's always stories in the barber shop. I don't know. I think that's another thing I'll talk about in another
Yes,
episode.
they do more.
We have to talk about. We have to have proper barber shops, because now we have some barber shop where the people just barbing your hair, soulless, no interesting stuff. There's nobody like causing gist in the barber shop. There should be like like one of those movies. Let's have those series. Was it series?
Barber shop.
The barber shop. Right? We need to have the barber shop, like just like some nice like inspiring stuff going on. Maybe talking about sports, talking about something. It's always nice when you have conversations like this. Yeah. Sorry, let me just carry on.
Okay, so I'll just say for that, like the whole military scenario, you can literally die at any time. You can literally die at any job you're doing. And for me, I feel for you to tell a man to leave what he wants to do just because he loves you, that's not nice. Okay, look at it this way. The man has literally been dreaming about being in the military for God knows how long.
This is actually a thing. People actually wake up in the morning and say, I want to be a military man.
Do you understand?
I want to be a soldier.
They
I
want to be
my dream is to one day retire, maybe general or something.
You get
right?
So that has been his long life dream, and then he's so close to getting it. Then he meets you, he falls in love, he's happy, he's like, oh my god, my life is coming to play. I'm about to become a soldier, and I'm about to marry the woman of my dreams. Then the woman just comes and says, if you love me, don't do what you want to do, or don't go ahead and follow your dreams.
I feel like it's kind of, I don't know. It's like, okay, see, I get it. Yeah, people are afraid. I think generally the idea is that military men are usually at the war front, or they can just be deployed at any point in time, and there are things that make it difficult to be the wife of a military man, right? The fact that his life is not his life, but it's not his life. He assigned his life over to the country, the government, right? At any point in time he can be called up and be assigned to anywhere, and he has to go do his mission. He has to answer the call, basically. And so you might feel like, okay, this man does not have as much freedom.
Same thing with
doctors. Same thing with people engineers. I can tell you for a fact.
You
don't really have time. You think I'm going to this. Oh my god.
Same thing with bankers.
Same thing with most of these professions that we grew up praising. Oh my god, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer. If you're not a doctor or engineer or a soldier, maybe you are nothing. Right? If our soldiers, I don't think they were that celebrated at that time. Yeah, maybe they were, but like if you get to a particular kind of officer, there's that hype. Okay, he's an officer of this, the forces and all that. But looking at it, when you get to that point, it's a scam, because your entire life is gone. You don't have time for anything.
Nope.
When you think you have time, you get one phone call. You're in the office. You're a banker. You think you're going to work Monday to Friday. Sometimes, God help you, Saturdays you are called in, or you spend your Friday nights in the bank because you have to clear up some stuff. Right? As a doctor, God help you. I don't know. Doctors have it really hard. We lost a lot of doctors during COVID. People don't even talk about these things anymore, and it's kind of sad. Doctors are literally at the war front of health, because they are coming into contact with people who may be having some contagious stuff. You might even have a new virus that you never heard about before, and you are just treating the person, and you don't know that the person has this new virus. And you're trying to treat them like, okay, what's up with you? Let me check your this, let me check your that. Obviously, they have to protect themselves. They have their own PPE. The idea here is that anything can happen to you.
Yeah.
The idea is anything can happen to you.
So I'd say for me, if you really really love this man as well, because it's a,
It
I
should
don't
not
know,
be one-sided.
it's a 100% thing. It's no longer even
Yeah,
50-50. I'm giving you 100, you're giving me 100.
fantastic.
So if you really love this man, I think the thoughts that you should be going with is, okay babe, let's really pray about this whole military thing. Let's really look into it. Is this what you really want to do? If he goes yes, and he has reasons to back up why he wants to do it, madam, get on your knees and pray for your man.
Yeah.
Pray for
If
him.
it's your man, if you believe that this man too, I actually want this man as well.
Yes.
Because there's this statement. Let me ask you this. I know that okay, this is I'm asking you on behalf of all women, which is kind of generalizing, but okay, let me just try this.
I'll try and answer.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a statement that says that women lower their standards for the man they want. And for the man they don't want, they have hurdles. They say, do this, prove this to me, prove that to me. When you really like a guy, you're just like, okay, I used to like guys that do this. I want a guy that can ride a bike and that can smoke and do this. But I like you. You don't do all these things. And you see them dropping the bar for this guy. It's not like the guy is doing everything like he's perfect. Sometimes the guy's his feet smell bad. His hair is or not really. He's not like curly hair. He's not Chris Hemsworth. He doesn't have six pack abs or something. But he looks good enough. And you're like, do I really need six abs? Do I need him to be all muscular? It's overrated anyways. You start to rationalize your own former checklist because you like the guy. He does it for you. He's not what you thought you want. Tall, dark, and handsome. He's tall, light skin, and handsome. Team light skin, please. It's not easy.
To beat her fizzy. I really feel like I should answer this question.
Answer the question. No, answer the question.
To be fair, I think I won't speak for all women. I'll speak for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can do something like that.
See, that's it.
But it's not.
Man, you see what
I'm not making you jump
hurdles. If the list is more than necessary, bro, run.
I'm not making you
She's managing you.
Jump hurdles. I'm just trying to see. Okay, if you are not what my physical eye is telling me that is the perfect man for me, let me see whether your actions can actually prove that.
So that means you create other hurdles because you might not be looking.
I'm not creating it. I'm just now bringing it out.
Okay, so you guys just have like 50 things on your list before, then you just wait.
Yeah.
They'll be like, okay, I like him. Let's make it 5. But then I don't like him. Let's make it 75. Just add more stuff.
It's not that bad.
Okay, 55.
For me, it's not that bad. It's like, okay, 40? I'm looking for a tall, light skinned, and handsome. And I see.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And I see it, and every other strike or every other box can just be waiting. So maybe if Mr. Tall, light skin and handsome is not really giving the vibe I really want, that's when I'll start bringing out the checklist of, okay, is he God fearing? Does he put me first? Can he do this for me? Would he rather, so that I will not just base my life off on tall, light skin and handsome. So I am still just going to circle back to the whole military thing and all. The fact alone that he knows you are allowing him to do something that he really loves, the fact that he ends up doing that thing that he really loves, is going to be motivation enough for him to keep going, like to keep thriving. I don't know, these days, this joy, the way they always say, if you have passion for something, you do it well, you'd be happy with it. He would be so motivated to keep going. Like, if
you see that it's something that he really wants to do, why would you ask him to drop it?
You shouldn't.
The question you should be asking yourself is, can I stay with this guy in what he loves to do?
Thank you.
It's about you. It's not about him. It's not about him proving to you anything, because you're asking him to drop. You love this thing. Drop it.
Why?
It's not. It's a different thing when you say, look, this thing you do. Maybe you smoke, and I don't get why do you smoke? I'm like, I just go into it as a kid. I never really go out of it or something. People get into stuff for all kinds of shady reasons or kind of maybe simple-minded reasons, and they don't really get to that point of realization where, okay, I think I should stop this thing. It does it even make sense? Why am I drinking 7 bottles a day? Do I need to do this? Do you get? So they've not had that moment of awakening for which you can come in and be a kind of, you can speak to his inner reasoning and say, babe, why do you want to do this thing? I think you're better without it. What do you think? And then he rationalizes within himself and he's like, oh, I actually don't know why I keep doing this thing. It's just a thing of habit now. I guess I should stop. And then he starts to put effort to stop because you have charged him and because he loves you. That's good. But like, he loves this thing. He's convicted, like, this is what I want to do. And then you make him choose.
Me or it.
Like, ultimatum, basically, like, me or this. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Just like you see a guy all his life, he wanted to get a PS5, got a PS5. Obviously, or not all his life. PS5 was not out all the time, but like, we knew it was gonna come out. Like we are waiting for PSX at this point, right? And then you come and you say, well, if you love me, you're gonna stop playing video games. I'm like, what? You have to go. I'm sorry. I mean, I love you, but it's
No,
PS5.
you should. I don't feel like
That's
you
talking
should
about
do
this.
that.
You can never stress me. I ask you for a sandwich, it gives me a sandwich. What are you talking about?
I'm just saying,
Oh
like, the
God.
fact alone that you allowed him, or not even you allowed him, the fact that both of you spoke about it, you can see that he is passionate about this thing.
Exactly.
You should let him do that,
Let him
and
do
he
him.
would appreciate you for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
But then, if it is a case where he's not even sure why he wants to get into this job, and you talk about it, and you guys reason through it, and then eventually maybe he becomes an accountant or he becomes a banker, and you realize, oh my God, I love being a banker, and then he's like, thank you, baby, for actually helping me
without
see.
you.
You
But
get.
but then there's this eventuality. One day, let's say 25 years later,
Yeah.
he's somebody that was in his, let's say, battalion, because they have like squads and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So one of his mates, they started together, maybe the guy's name is whatever, and Mr. Whatever is being how would I call it now, awarded with a new rank or something, or he's retiring after a very successful campaign. His life has gone on, he has had a wonderful career as a military person, he has served this country, all those honors are being bestowed, are being awarded to him, and he's there and he's looking at him like, that's my friend, look at what he's doing. Huh?
The worst part is even when maybe you know that you actually had more ginger than
Than
this
the guy that
person.
is doing it.
Like, you
You're
had
like-
more vibes
you're like-
to go for this thing.
You will not be like, now me they even push this guy.
You get.
Tell me when no one even do one push up, I dey push him. Say try.
It
You know,
will be so-
I was the one that taught
so
him how to,
draining.
do the marching. I told him how to hold the rifle properly. He was getting it wrong. I was the one, like, you guys actually started this journey,
To get there.
and you were even the one like bringing the ginger, and then you just pulled out because, well, whatever.
Because you love your wife.
You love your wife, yeah. At this point, there's going to be that moment of questioning, like, and it won't be nice if there's any truth to it for the guy, and it's like, I really still wish I did this thing.
Yeah.
I wish I followed through with this thing. At that point, there's room for resentment. Now he can start feeling like, especially if now the marriage is not going too fantastic, because that's where. And the thing is, he might not come out and tell you, you did this to me, like, because of you I changed my mind, because of you I did all this, because of you I sacrificed all this, and you're giving me this.
One day.
But there's always going to be that underlying tone of, I give everything for you, everything being my dream. Because
Another thing I want to add there is, if you know that you are, or okay, if you know that being with let's say, a military personnel is not in your story, it's not what you're looking for, it's not someone you want to be with, no matter the kind of love you have for this person, instead of staying and just either ruining the person's life, or you being devastated and always being scared, or always having high blood pressure because you are praying or afraid that your husband is about to get killed, just, okay, let's part ways. If you cannot do it, just go. Nobody will kill you. I feel like that's the best way to go about such a situation for some people. If you know that the praying aspect is not going to work out for you, and you know that you easily get tensed when you don't know where your partner is, or when you don't know what exactly is going to happen when your partner goes on a work trip, just stay away. Just go. Tell them you cannot do it and leave.
So I was talking to someone, yeah, and just to follow up what you said, about love, about being in love with this person, and seeing that you love this person, and all. And there is something she said because she's married to someone who works in a high risk field, and without any doubt, yeah, she said that you just don't love them enough, or you've not experienced love the way people who have do. And then the love is not just that, oh, I feel like I love this person, no, but you have to now, like, sign yourself into being with this person and accept that your role in their life is whatever you want to do. Because she said this thing about, like, if you have a kid, and let's say your child, your kid grows up into like a, adolescent or whatever, and now trying to like chase an interest, like maybe they're interested in painting, music, something, you would want to support them as much as possible to achieve the best in potential of what they have, right? So you wouldn't, I mean, yeah, of course you would want to talk to them, but if you see that they're actually where they are at, then you would want to support them, right? So maybe you love them, but only as much as you are able to take. And if you realize that, oh, my boundary, my limit is, I love you only as much as you work jobs that are not as high risk. Maybe only as much as you don't work in the military, because I don't know if I can deal with the tension of having to, but I have to allow you do what you do because it's what you do. You get me? So I have realized another point, right? So I asked someone, I'm going to leave her anonymous for the purpose of, privacy and whatnot. I initially wanted to have her take directly on this episode, but I couldn't get that. But I did have a conversation with her. Thank you so much. I'll say Mrs. A, for your input. Being married to someone who is in the army and knows and has seen stories in the barracks, you've seen what's happened with different people. And she did say some things that I'm going to raise. One of which, generally, it's not just people in the army, really. You could be a nurse, you could be, I mean, if you're getting married to a nurse, you're getting married to someone in the health profession, you're getting married to someone in construction, there are different levels of, stuff that can come at you. I feel like the thing takeaway that I got from what she told me, because she told me about a story where a lady who's a nurse had she was taking a sample from someone who turned out to be um, HIV positive. And this person's, I mean, while they were taking the sample, somehow, these things happen. It's not the best. They usually don't happen, but they happen regardless. So at some point, she was pricked by, she got pricked by the needle that carried this person's sample. So she got pricked by the needle. So she was instantly panicking, obviously. If you put yourself in the shoes of someone who has been in that particular environment, they understand that, it's a virus, right? But the virus, will not be instantly detectable in your blood. So they need to take, series of tests over the next maybe 3 months to 6 months, like that, go on and on and on. So, they did the test, and this is crazy. The lady, her life literally changed in those months. Till maybe she did like 6 months test and there was still nothing. She was negative, thank God. But the possibility for her being positive, even just the mere possibility, I say mere, I'm trying to say it, you know, the simple possibility that she could have been positive would have already affected her life so much that she became, or it actually did affect her life to the point that she became a shadow of herself. She became she would become withdrawn from her, possibly her husband, possibly her family. She'd probably be in some kind of quarantine from them. Now, it would be wise for her to tell them about this, but if you are married to someone and you can't tell them, or you don't want them to panic, for example, and leave you, there's so many reasons why people could react in different ways to this particular scenario. So ultimately, there are risks everywhere. There are risks. So I'll just say thank you so much for sharing this with me.
If you
I, re-
love your man, pray for your man. Talk to him.
I think
Try
I
and
think that's
reason
the
out
thing.
with him.
Just reason with the person that you're with, know what
Vice
they're
versa.
about, and you know what to give and what to take. Okay, look, I kid you not. I'm not trying to be funny right now when I say this. I was at the tire shop trying to get my tires checked, and I looked to the end, like the end of the shop, and I literally just saw the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. In real life, this guy just took he was holding his phone. I was like, okay, maybe this guy just browsing internet. Next thing you know, this guy takes his screen and licks it. 3 times. Like the first time he licked, I was like, no. I had to blink twice, like in disbelief, and then he went lick lick, and I'm like, bruh, that's the wild Jesus. I was like, man, like you can't make this up. He took lick your screen to the next level. He licked whatever I don't know whether the screen was dusty because the place was kind of dusty. I don't know why he licked the screen, but I have never seen someone actually lick their screen. Look, if you listen to the Fizzy speaks, you know that I don't want to traumatize anyone, but like I feel traumatized right about now. Pray for me. Pray for the country. God damn it. Wow, that's crazy. That's just wow.